Hi guys, this is Tanuja here, holistic nutritionist and digestion whiz, helping people who are done feeling crappy take their lives back. I help you ditch cravings, calm your tummy woes, including IBS, increase energy, and feel good from the inside out. And we do that with simple nutrition, mindset, and lifestyle hacks. So, what are we going to talk about today? I really wanted to talk about my own story and share this today. And some of you may know it, but I was not always a nutritionist. I came from the corporate world, working in a very high stress environment, very fast paced, on the go. And over the years, I was starting to feel quite sick. I had chronic pain in the body. I was suffering from diarrhea, IBS, which I didn't know at that time, was because of food intolerances. I had inflammation in the body, was going through a lot of cravings, and was putting on weight continuously and not knowing what to do. My blood test reports were all normal. Everything was fine. And the doctors weren't able to figure out what was going on. I mean, literally, they were at one point, I was being told, it's all in your head. And if you feel sick to the point where I was so sick, where I couldn't work anymore in a full-time job, when you hear that, it's all in your head, it's quite annoying, and it really made me angry. And it was not fun. It was not fun to be in so much pain where I couldn't sit at the computer for 15-20 minutes because I would just get massive shooting pain down my arms and my neck and my back, upper shoulders and back area. I just could not function. I was so tight in my muscles that, literally if you could touch me, I felt like a rock. There was so much pain, there was so much tightness. And at that time, I had no clue it was coming from fibromyalgia. I had never heard about the condition. I had no clue what was going on. I did MRI upon MRI and X-rays and CT scans, and everything was normal. Everything was normal every time. And I had almost started to believe what my doctors were saying, that, probably this is all in your head. But I knew deep down that there was something going on which I didn't understand, and that this was not normal. And one day when I had to regularly go for massages, it was so tight in my body that my massage therapist actually suggested that, you've been coming here for a few years and nothing is changing. Have you ever thought that you have fibromyalgia? And I was like, what is that? I don't even know, never heard about it. So she says, well, this is a condition where you are in chronic pain, and the way your brain processes pain and your nervous system perceives it is very different from other people. So you have a heightened sensitivity to pain, and you should talk to your doctor about it. I'm like, okay, I will go ahead and do that. And I actually asked my doctor at the time, and she said, yeah, maybe it is fibromyalgia, maybe it's not, but, it doesn't matter. Don't pay attention to that. And I was like, why? Why is that? And at that time, I didn't know that stress and mindset and your own thoughts also affected the way my body felt stress. So I did some more research, and by then I had a different doctor. So I went back to my doctor and said, I wanted to, find out if there was a fibromyalgia specialist, and can you give me a referral for them? And my doctor said, there's nobody like that, right? So you just take painkillers and you'll be fine. And I was on painkillers. I was literally taking several painkillers a day to be just able to function. So, but I was not going to give up, right? So I decided that I'm going to do some research. So I was already reading up about my fibromyalgia through books and internet and, all those things. And then I decided to do more research, and I found that there was a fibromyalgia chapter here in Vancouver. That's where I live. And I called them up and I asked them if there are any specialists for fibromyalgia around here. And they said, yes, there are. There were two actually. There are not a lot because it is a specialty. So there are two. So I took their names, their addresses, and all their details, went to my doctor and said, here, these are the two doctors, and can you please now give me a referral? And she was surprised herself. She said, oh, I didn't know. I'm like, there you go. I did my research because it was up to me what I wanted to do, right? Nobody else was helping me outside. So I did that, and the referral, it took about 8 months to come through. So I had to wait 8 months to see my doctor. And when I saw him, the first thing he said was, "Yeah, of course, this is fibromyalgia symptoms. What did you think it was?" And it was such, it was funny that I was being diagnosed with a condition which has no cure, literally. It's a lifelong thing. And yet at the same time, there was a relief, because at least now I knew what was going on with me, right? Like, at least somebody confirmed that this was not all in my head and that I wasn't going crazy, just making up pain, right? So then, of course, the doctor gave me certain recommendations, and it had to do a little bit with mindset work, and, changing the way I took stress and perceived thoughts, and a little bit of dietary changes. And by then I was studying nutrition as well, because I had realized that I can't just do this with medication. How I fuel myself, how I eat, also has to do with it. So that's why I had started studying nutrition at the time. So I was already making changes to my diet, and that way I started to already feel a difference. So, and I didn't stop there, because I knew long term, again, medications and that was not the route to go. So I started looking up homeopathy, and I reached out to a friend of mine who is a homeopathic doctor, and I asked her if she could help me out and if there was something that we could do for fibromyalgia. And of course she said, and I've now been working 2 years with her, and there's so much of difference, right? Like, so much of a difference that I would have never thought about 2 or 3 years ago. I could never have dreamt that I could be pain-free, and I'm literally close to pain-free thanks to all the changes that I'm doing. But it was all upon me, right? It was all upon me to decide that I wanted to stop struggling. It was all upon me to decide that I cannot take this anymore, and that I need to take action no matter what everybody else is telling me. And yes, doctors are authority on health, and we need them. I still need my doctors. It's not that I don't need them anymore, and I know all. No, of course I don't. But it's in my best interest to ask those questions of myself, and to do my research, and to go out and seek the answers. Nobody comes to you and gives you the answers until you seek them out, right? The same thing happened with IBS. I was suffering from diarrhea. I was rushing to the washroom probably several times a day, at least 10, 15 times sometimes on a bad day, and I didn't know what was going on. And at that time I had no clue that my consuming dairy was the cause of my IBS. So again, through talking to people, I figured out that somebody said, why don't you remove lactose from your diet and see if that helps? And I was like, okay, no harm in trying that. And of course, for a few days I stopped drinking milk. Funnily, I never actually liked milk, but even though I was still having dairy products, like I would have a little bit of milk in my tea, and cheese or things like that. So I actually stopped having milk completely, and that helped to reduce my diarrhea. It didn't take it away, but it did improve my symptoms. So, and again, that time I was studying nutrition, so I was looking at digestion, and I was going through the gut, and how food sensitivities are caused, and how can we heal, or not heal, but fix our gut to the point where you can actually start taking all those foods that you might be sensitive to again. And I mean, just coming from my story, I am now able to have milk in moderation without a lot of trouble, because earlier if I had milk I would just be running with diarrhea right to the washroom. But now I can actually have a latte or ice cream or cheese without giving me the runs. Unless I overdo dairy, then it might cause me bloating and some cramping. But things are different. So I know how with IBS you can feel stuck, how you get cramps, and how you can you're almost afraid to go out and eat, because you don't know when you'll have to run to the washroom. You don't know when the cramps will come in, and when you will feel like rolling on the floor because of pains. It's not a happy place to be in. But it's, what, again, until I decided that enough was enough, that I'm not going to be just randomly popping Imodiums every time I needed to go out, I had to make that decision for myself. And once I did that, you have to decide, you start looking for alternatives, you start looking for help, and you get the answers, right? Sometimes you have to do a little bit more research, you have to work harder to get the answers, but you do get them, because when you are ready, you are ready. So I really wanted to share my story today, so that if you are feeling in that place, or overwhelmed, or being stuck, or where you think your freedom to eat properly has gone away, your freedom to go out has stopped, or it's stopping you from living the way you want to, from working, then there is hope at the end of the tunnel, right? Like you don't have to continue like this. There definitely are things that you can do. Seek out, look for alternative modalities, whether it is working with a nutritionist, or acupuncture, acupressure. That's another thing. I read a lot these days also about mindset. I worked a lot on myself with that. I help my clients also to think of things in a different perspective, because sometimes it's just the stories that we tell ourselves, right? That, oh, I can never feel good. This is never going to go away. I'm always going to have IBS. I'm always going to feel this crappy. No, why should you? Why would you? If you decide that enough was enough, that you are done feeling crappy, then make that decision for yourself. Do something about it. And it is possible. If I can change things around for myself, I know you can do that too. I know that in the core of my heart, that things can be different. Whether a condition will go away completely or not, really, nobody can say. I work with so many clients who have got IBS, and honestly, most of them have come back to eating normally. For some, it takes just a few weeks, or for some, it takes like about a year. But it depends, right? Like for me, the journey, because I was trying to do it on my own by Googling and all of that, it took me more than 10 years to figure out what was going on. If I had just at that time decided that I would go seek help from another professional other than, the things that I was trying, I had never thought about going to a naturopath or a nutritionist, or trying acupuncture, or doing mindset work. Never came, that thought never crossed my mind. So the more open-minded I became, the solutions started coming to me, and I started experimenting. It might not be just that one answer. So, I might not be able to, I shouldn't be saying that, oh, okay, you come and work with me and everything will be hunky-dory and fine. It might not be. You might need my help. You might need to work with another alternative modality. It takes a village, right, to raise a child, like they say. So when it is about your well-being, when it is about your health, you need to try things. You need to experiment, see what works for you, because what works for me might not work for you. But I know, having worked with so many clients on IBS, on indigestion, on constipation, on diarrhea, on sugar cravings, on weight loss, I mean, people have been stuck there for years, and in just a few weeks, things have changed for them. Things have changed for them, and I'm really proud that I was able to help them, and that I can be of service to, people like you, if you are feeling like this, stuck, not knowing what to do. So reach out, please. Let's have a chat, figure out what we might be able to do together. If not, if there's something else that you can do. But don't just accept status quo. Don't just think that there is nothing else you can do and that you can never feel better. No, you can change things around. There's always something that you can try and do that'll make you feel better. So really wanted to touch upon that today, because I believe that in the core, in my guts, in my heart, that you can change things around. You don't have to feel crappy. You don't have to continue suffering. You can make a difference to your life. You can take charge. So do so, please. And if you need to talk to me, just reach out. We can schedule for a complimentary discovery session. Join my Facebook group. We have such, conversations there all the time. Download freebies. There are plenty of freebies on my website. If you need, a freedom from sugar cravings, there's a 3-day sugar detox. There are tips on there's a cheat sheet on how to beat indigestion, on some rocking foods for a healthy digestive system. So there are plenty of resources. Just reach out, make use of them, reach out, take advantage of what is out there for you. You can do this. You don't have to feel crappy. You don't have to struggle anymore. That is my message for you today. So take action, okay? And I'm here if you need to ask anything at all. Take care.